Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is still November 24th, 2025. I just had to click go live before midnight, and that part of my mission is accomplished. This is a live tarot throw. I've got 4 cards coming your way to tell you a story, to get you ready to go wherever you're going. Whenever you're tuning in, the tarot world wants you to see this message of the 4 cards I'm about to throw to you. But also, coming up, it's movie night here at STARCARD Podcast. I'm busting out a couple of interviews with Psychic Liz Cross to explore one of the laws of karma, because it's the 8th day in our countdown of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. We're already having fun just listening to me tell you about my plans. Let's keep it going, Breakaway Ray. Let's go to the tarot cam. I'm going to move the camera to face down now. All right, thanks for joining me, everybody. I see we have some friends in the chat already. I'm really excited that you could join us. If anyone would like a tarot card reading for the second part of the show, please type in the chat in all capital letters, tarot, please. And then when I'm done with the first part of the show, which I estimate might be in about 30 or 35 minutes today, when we get to that point, I'm going to check the chat, see who wants a reading. I got all kinds of time, everybody. Everybody can have a reading. Meanwhile, let's show you the decks that are available. You can give it some thought. You know, you have about a half an hour to think about which deck you'd like me to use if I get a chance to throw cards for you. I'm going to be using the classic tarot deck, the one with the words on the cards. Here is the King of Pentacles. You see what I mean there? The other of my perceived 2 standard tarot decks that you need to learn from is the Robin Wood Tarot, introduced to me from my tarot teacher, Matthew Mournian, Mournian. Remember your mission. You can check him out at YouTube. He was my tarot teacher. I've only been throwing cards since March, but this is the deck that I need to practice more with, but that's available, and you can see it standing by right here. What a lovely card. Every time I look at the world card, what a great image. Flying through the sky. Everything's completed and accomplished. Speaking of lovely images, I've got the Ethereal Bloom Tarot deck standing by. And here's their version of the world card. Spectacular. Great art. And these are a fun shuffle also. I like the way they feel when I shuffle. And then some of the other decks available today. I have the black foil deck. It's got the shiny both sides. Look at that lovely world card there. There's another foil deck. It's over on the shelf. If you really want me to, I can fetch that one. Really, it's no problem. It's not that far away, I promise. I have the Mermaid Tarot. That's a very popular one as well. And then this one's very stylish. It's not actually an old or a classic tarot, but it is a style. It's done in the style of the old ones. So wonderful images here from a guy named Alexander Ray, huh? All right, cool. Sounds good to me, Alexander Ray. Let's get these upstairs and then throw down the 4 cards. That's right. It's the week of November 24th. I got 4 cards for you. Let's start shuffling. All right, Tarot World. I finally turned on the camera. I know you can't wait to talk to your peeps. Here we go. Let's throw 4 cards to get everyone going whenever they're tuning into this podcast. 4 cards. I don't know. I think I got an idea here. How about 4 cards in some way it makes someone's day? 4 cards about making someone's day, please. That'd be pretty cool. You know, here in the United States, we got the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. We got some kids home from school, and now's a great chance to think about making someone's day. How about let's just think about helping out, making someone's day. Everyone's going to try to make your day, right? Everyone's going to pitch in and make sure you have a good holiday. Let's reciprocate in advance. make plans to make someone's day. Here we go. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Starting with the Page of Cups. Lovely colors on this card. The Page of Cups is the happy surprise guy. Yeah, wouldn't you like to be the happy surprise to make someone's day? I wonder if there's a dynamic we can see. Well, you start at the beginning and you're the fool. How can I help? Mom, need help in the kitchen? Anything I can clean up? Well, what can I do? For myself personally, I like planning in advance. I don't want to hear after Thanksgiving dinner's over, well, you didn't help. Now you get to wash the dishes and mop the floor. That wouldn't be so bad if that was part of the plan. If I knew that was coming, that's great. Anyway, let's reorganize our thoughts here, Breakaway Ray. We're making someone's day. Let's be the pleasant surprise in their lives. Let's start at the beginning and ask right away in advance. Let's plan it out together. Can I help somehow? I've already sent the email messages to people in my family. Yo, you need me to pick up something at Porto's? Do you want me to bring any panettone or some cannoli? Anyway, we're planning up for Thursday here in the United States. Next up, there's more to it. So here is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords says, we're being guided to calmer waters by an unseen hand. And you know what's great about throwing the Robin Hood deck? This is the deck where you can kind of see the ghost in the back of the boat there. Okay, can you see that? The ghost is in the back of the boat, guiding them to calmer waters and safer shores. So it's going to be a good Thanksgiving week here in the United States. It's going to be a pleasant surprise for everybody. We're only at the very beginning. And even the spirit world is going to enjoy time off where we can all get together and rejuvenate each other. And then finally, we just said rejuvenate and reconsider. We'll have some time off, I hope, for everybody here in the United States or wherever you are, to consider all parts of our lives. And let's go back to making someone's day. If you're planning out in advance and you're part of a team and you're building esprit de corps, you're engaging their higher self and you're giving them a sense of communion, of team. I like how I use the word communion. I'm thinking about that book about the aliens. And then, of course, we just mentioned the spirit world. Even the spirit world wants everyone's souls to be in harmony. So we all have a chance to resonate. I don't know if you can see the tree and the cup, they all seem to be vibrating and they're vibrating together. So, and you're resting up against that tree. That's some real grounding there. Some real grounding ahead for all of us on our Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for the wonderful message. You made my day, that's for sure. And we still have, about 20 more minutes of this day left. Awesome. Let me give these cards a toss. And then we're going to jump right in with the 12 laws of karma. It's day number 8 in our countdown of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. Here we go. Oh, hang on. This is for editing purposes. We'll be back down here in a moment in case I edit. And now it's day number 8 in our countdown of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. Let's go back downstairs. Law number 12. Law of significance and inspiration. Every effort and action truly matters. Law number 11. The law of patience and reward. Great rewards always take time and persistence. Law number 10. The law of change. History repeats itself until we finally learn. Number 9. Law of here and now. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. Law number 8. The law of giving and hospitality. Our actions must always reflect our true values. Law number 7, the law of focus. We move forward only by focusing on one thing. Law number 6, the law of connection. Past, present, and future are all linked together. And now, presenting law number 5, the law of responsibility. We are always accountable for our actions. Well, let's examine that thought further. I got my notebook ready, everybody. I know if you've tuned in to the last couple of podcasts, you've seen that each day of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma, I set up a new page and I present thoughts and reflections on each law. In some cases, I'm not writing it out, or I'm writing it out on a different piece of paper, or I might have had a multimedia presentation, wink, wink. Anyway, here's for the 8th law, and the 7th law, and the 6th law, and here I am, I'm ready with the 5th law of karma, the law of responsibility. We are always accountable for our actions. Well, I first have some notes, and then I have a multimedia presentation. So I won't be using the book today, but I'm all ready for tomorrow. Here we go. But I am still modeling, right? I'm still modeling what you at home can do if this is something you're interested in pursuing, so you learn more about the spirit world and your higher self and your own objectives while you're down here on planet Earth's surface. Okay, so we're going to go back upstairs. All right, here we are. I'm getting out my notes. Now I got to turn on my light again. Here, hang on. All right, I think I'm doing all right. Okay. So when we talk about responsibility, you might be considering the legal system in your country, wherever you live. That's the thing that you would expect in society to dispense measured justice and hold people accountable and ensure responsibility. Anyway, I'm sure each of us has different perspectives on the efficacy of our legal systems wherever we are on planet Earth. Now, there's another system that is spiritual. This is for entertainment purposes only. We're all allowed to entertain these ideas. If it's not your cup of tea, you probably won't be tuning in for very long. And that's just as important to those whose minds resonate with the things that I'm saying and they find the right podcaster. That's for them. So, if it doesn't work for someone, please go on your way and find the right path for you. That'd be great. Anyway, we're going to go ahead with the story that there's a karma system and that there is something called metempsychosis, which is when you end one life and then your spirit, which is an electromagnetized soul that can actually move from vehicle to vehicle. When I say vehicle, I mean like a human body. When you leave this body, your soul remains and then it goes and inhabits a new one. And there's a certain system to it. There's lots of ideas you can explore with that, which would be relatively new, especially if you're here in the United States, because this is not stuff that we grow up talking about. I believe the concept of reincarnation was taken away by the Council of Nicaea back in the 1500s, was it? Or the 1000s? It was a few hundred years ago. The Roman Catholic Church removed reincarnation, and that certainly changes your outlook on life, I'll tell you that. So anyway, you'll have to see some other previous podcasts to get the real flavor of that last sentence. So anyway, let's talk about some of these people who have gone on to the spirit world and what kind of responsibility they have to face. We all hear about how we have a life review, right? Well, that's from my point of view, from learning about this kind of stuff. You have your life review and then, you're stuck with your life review. You don't really get to enhance or change anything until you go down and do a new life. And in some cases, in lots of ways. You'll hear stories about prison planet Earth and trapping people in a karma system, and you can't get out unless you're like some kind of ascendant master, which I'm guessing is I'm guessing it's like just as reachable as being a millionaire or a billionaire is today. Like we have more billionaires and millionaires today than we ever had in the past. And something tells me that there's the potential for there to be as many ascendant masters on planet Earth as there would ever have been, right now. Not just because we have the quantity, like 8 billion people, but we have the potential that the power is actually there. Our conscious is expanding. Our consciousness is expanding. Good. I'm trying to keep all my terms straight too. So anyway, let's explore some of these people who may have met with responsibility with their life review, and they're sitting around in the afterlife and they get to ponder this stuff. And then along comes someone cool like Psychic Liz Cross, who wants to interview them with whichever guest host she's with, and we learn about these people. So I made some notes about some of the videos I've seen from Psychic Liz Cross here. First of all, how about Moses? He's one of the forefathers of the Judeo-Christian Muslim family of religions. We're all the sons of Abraham. And Moses was famous, of course, for leading his people out of Egypt and across the Red Sea with God's divine hand, opening up the sea and protecting his people as they moved through the desert after that. So, but I guess in the afterlife, according to what I remember from that story with Moses, during his lifetime, even though he was psychic, he was misled by more powerful beings, perhaps off planet, who had stronger psychic abilities and persuaded him to do something he shouldn't have done. And so even now in the afterlife, he has to atone for that. He has to rebalance for the thing that he did that wasn't so nice. And an interesting part of that is that during the interview, it came out that people like you and me, people alive right now, we could pray, we could do CTT and conscious tapping therapy. See Psychic Liz Cross's channel for this stuff, okay? If you don't know about it. We could do that stuff and we could aim that energy to Moses and we could help him out. And then he wouldn't have to like reincarnate so many times and undergo some kind of painful thing to balance things out. So, you could do it for Moses or you could do it for anyone. Like if you wanted to help a hero out who you think probably could use the help, you could send that person prayers. It doesn't sound so far-fetched. I grew up in the church where that's all you did every Sunday. You pray for people who have passed on all the time. So, it's a thing. Whether you look at it, from an religious standpoint, like with CCT or the way we're discussing it right now, or from a religious standpoint, if you're praying for the souls of people. So, okay, we covered Moses. Then, another one was Spartacus. Now, Spartacus was the slave gladiator, and I'm pretty sure it was in ancient Rome. I don't think it was Greek. I think he might have been a Greek soldier in ancient Rome. And, he's a gladiator, and there's a lot of battles, and he's using the sword, and, things get pretty gory. Well, it came out during Psychic Liz Cross's interview with Spartacus. You people should look this one up if you haven't seen it. Turns out Spartacus is either alive right now or just being born, and he's going to be a surgeon, and he's going to repair the injuries of people who he may have damaged in that lifetime as Spartacus. Like from 2,000 years ago, instead of cutting someone, he gets to stitch that person up. He gets a chance to fix it. How about that? That's kind of dragging it out. That's a couple of thousand years. But anyway, right on, Spartacus, because there's something about that responsibility that I go for. Like, okay, again, I was born in the middle of the 20th century, and I led a sheltered life. Everyone, anyway, in my family, it meant things like, to have honor, to pay back loans, and to follow the 10 Commandments and things like that. So when I hear like Spartacus, this all, 2,000 years later, I'm going to repair the damage that I did. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I really respect someone who's going to pay back his loan like that. In one way or the other, I suppose that's what we have to do. We always have to balance out what we're going on. I bet I'm balancing stuff out right now, and I don't even know what I'm balancing. What is driving me to turn on the camera in the middle of the night like this? Anyway, Spartacus, check. Next, Mr. Breakaway. So there was an interview, and I cannot recall which one it was, but Psychic Liz Cross interviewed like the infant in a very sad story where the infant passed away as an infant. I don't remember what the circumstances were, but obviously that infant shouldn't have passed away at that age. It was something went wrong. Anyway, it turns out that the soul of that infant does that a lot. Volunteers to come down and be the infant that suffers some kind of tragedy so that it imparts a lesson to the parents and the people around the infant. And that seemed like a lot of repetition for sure. And at the same time, you can imagine that person, that spirit, is building up a lot of karma and putting a lot of money in the bank, as it were. Because at some point, that spirit, I believe it was a female, that spirit's going to come down into a new life and then kind of have like a lot of luck going for her, because a lot of those energies will have to balance out while she's down here. She's going to be, sitting down on the seesaw, and all the desserts are going to come sliding down to her. I suppose that's another example of how responsibility for our actions, responsibility for our energies is all getting balanced out, even between this world and the astral world. All right. So then it makes me think, we talked about Moses. Okay. I presented this book a long time ago, a couple of months ago. This is the book Livy and the War with Hannibal. And I'm imagining now Hannibal, the Carthaginian general. This guy was amazing. He was a military mastermind. Never be another guy like him. There might be an artificial intelligence a little bit like him, but this guy was remarkable just from what I read in this book. And I wonder if we would see him. I'm not inviting him in. I got to be careful here. I bet he would love to share the story. We might have to say this for another day, General. Thank you. But what I'm trying to say is, I really did feel him like, he's like offering to speak. In any case, I'm wondering if we asked him, hey, do you have to, account for all those, those unfortunate things that happened during war, while you have that war with Rome? That would be a very interesting thing. Anyway, it really feels like the general wanted to talk. But I was going to say, I wonder if Mr. Reality is listening. Hannibal, come on, think about it. I know you got to do your Patreon people first. Right on. All right. So there's Hannibal. Okay. Then who have I got? Oh, yeah. The next book I want to show you is Je suis le cahier, which is a book with all of some of Pablo Picasso's work in it. I don't know, this book must be 30, 40 years old. And I actually went to the exhibit. I'm just showing you. Okay, yeah, here you go. This is going to bring back memories to someone. Royal Academy of Arts. All right, that was the 80s. And I wonder if there's any like really big pictures I could show you. Yeah, okay. It's the middle of the night, everybody. Now, look at this. All right, crank up your Robert Fripp on the guitar. Okay. So I busted out the Pablo Picasso book because, of course, Psychic Liz Cross interviewed him in the afterlife. And Psychic Liz Cross interviewed Pablo Picasso in the afterlife. And it turns out he's still living large and feeling like he's going to live large. And I say, in lots of ways, good for you. Have fun. If you got it, go for it. Have a good time. You should have a zest for life. But at the same time, he did come off a little bit inconsiderate. He's kind of a me first person. And then when his wife came into the scene, I kind of felt the same way she did, because I guess Picasso and his wife had come into lifetimes together over and over again, and he always does the same thing. He's not particularly nice and courteous to her. Doesn't really, anyway, moving on from that subject, I just want to say that's a strange dynamic. I thought by the karma system there was going to be some kind of balance, but from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is that sometimes they don't learn their lesson in one lifetime and they come back and try again. They don't learn. And then they do it again and they don't learn. And it happens over and over again. Where's the balance? And maybe, like in the case of Spartacus, it takes a couple thousand years. I don't know. So let's see what else I got. Yeah, I talked about Picasso. Oh, okay. And then, all right, I got quite an imagination. So how about Maria Orsic? Maria Orsic is the channel that received instructions telepathically from an off-world alien species on how to build spaceships, which she shared with German leadership in the 1940s and escaped off planet. Let's remember, you're watching StarCard Podcast. My name is Breakaway Ray, and I wrote that book, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. You can see the link in the description. So what about Maria Orsic? Now that she's off planet, is she done with the karma system here? It's a question I wonder, because then you got other people from, famous 20th century Germany. There's a story out there that Klaus Barbie, the fellow who was in charge of Lyon during World War II, they say that he's governing the moon Titan out by Saturn. So doesn't seem like the karmic balance is immediate in his case, if that's true. And let's see what else I've got here. So my question is, how does it work for off-worlders? There must be other planets, as we've heard many other people say, there must be other planets where, there's a karmic system. I mean, the karmic system here on planet Earth is supposedly shutting down, from my estimates, maybe 6, 7, 8 generations. We're at the tail end here. This is like the end of the parade, right? This is cool. 8 more generations to go, maybe. And then let's see what else I got here. Yeah, well, I got that part done. All right, so now we're going to go to the multimedia part of the presentation. And, I'm asking, are we responsible and aren't we responsible? Sometimes it's hard to see the balance, but, we're down here. We're not going to see it with these eyes. We might see it with our third eye. All right, so I'm going to share some screen now. Okay, so I want you to know it's like 27 minutes down. I'm estimating for you, everybody, just so you know, the amount of video I have to share may total in about another 20 minutes. So looks like a long show. If you want to budget your time and walk away, you might, 20 minutes, you could walk away and come back for the live chat in the second half of the show. All right, so now I'm going to try and share some screens. Here I go. I think I'm going to have to leave this light on. Okay, this is from the playlist Psychic List Cross Appears on StarCard Podcast. And the first part of this is a description of the charging up of the karma system. I think I have that right. Nope, just a minute. Right. The first part is target karma. It talks about the karma system, and it can seem to be a little bit blurry on responsibility. This starts at minute 40. Let's see if I got this right. Here I go, everybody. Can't we just be done? Wouldn't it be better if we were? So is there a way to check it? Are we really done? Because I want to stop thinking about it myself too.
No, she owes you now.
Something I can do, or I could say, no, it's fine. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't want to. I don't need anything from her. At least I don't think I do. Let's help each other by not doing this anymore. Is that something we could say? Ugh.
I mean, you can say it. She very much likes having this contract with you. And you both bringing lessons to one another. Now, I know you don't like it, and I don't like you. But in order for it to be completely dissolved, you have to get her permission to let go. And you have to really forgive any and all karmic debt that is now owed. But she would have to agree to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, this sounds like the kind of situation, we're in. It sounds like maybe I don't think we really need to carry on like this anymore. I don't feel like being tied to her in any valuable way. I think that she should take it and pass it on. That would really impress me. Do something in my if she passed that karma on to the children that she works with. Make it up to me by being nice to those kids.
Um, yes, yes, and that's one way of get to grips with that understanding.
All right, that might end up being another time when I have to jump the queue to talk to you, Psychic Liz Cross, because you're right. But anyway, no one can tell me about the contract that I have with this lady, and because is there something I need to know? Am I allowed to ask why we wrote it in the?
Yeah, let's ask. What? Show me the past life. What is it that led to this? Okay. Now, in a past life, you wronged her before this one. She was madly in love with you. And you were religious, actually quite religious. You were married to do with her.
Sounds like this lifetime, probably.
She couldn't understand. She actually ended her life over you in the last life. Sorry. In this lifetime, why she had this vicious hatred, revenge. She's got a lot of unresolved anger, and it just comes across so.
Pretty sure she does, yeah.
She hates it. She doesn't want to be there. She has to be there. She doesn't want to be there. And I'm like, isn't your job hard enough without having to resort to coercing children and making malicious? How long have you actually known her?
Her entire teaching career, which is almost 30 years.
Oh, gee.
About her and her father last time we spoke. Yes.
Did I?
Yes. I mean, you're consistent and you know what you're talking about. So, I mean, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for all those things. And obviously,
Yeah.
I'm in the same position I was in this previous lifetime.
Right. But what happened to her in this lifetime is not your fault, right? She's harboring a lot of resentment, anger, wants to take predators down. This is her way to get back.
And I agree. And I agreed to let her come back in this lifetime to get revenge on me because I wouldn't pay attention to her last time. I feel like for some reason I feel like I could have had better boundaries than to agree to something like that.
Yeah. I agree. No, but it was the karmic debt. It was cyclical. No. See, and in this lifetime, you owed her.
I stopped being in love with my wife. I was already married. She's having affairs with people when she's really not having affairs with people. But it creates a problem. Like you mentioned, she was having an affair with the principal, and it made me think that she was also trying to in a protective way.
Warped view of people.
She disband the contract, and when I promise, I make the promise to whatever course is going to help her. We're going to go listen to the Pope talk. He'll give us a good. Coming down here and doing it is not working. So let me meet with you when we get back up there. I want to help.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think that your consciousness has elevated so much that this is like you're kind of like, I understand it. It's almost like this is kind of low level conscious, and I totally get it. You really don't. You really don't need it anymore.
So is that something that we can relay and let me at least help you get your foot in the door when we're in the, we don't need to do this stuff down here anymore. Is that something we can agree to?
Agree to? I mean, I feel that it is.
Okay.
You would say, you know, there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimal, you know, her soul. And you make a long list of, you know, for what happened to you in this lifetime. In your child, you know, you have treated me unfairly. I know that there's a karmic debt owed. However, I am not interested in.
Okay, hey everybody. I want to thank the people in the chat for letting me know how we were doing. So I'm sorry to hear that maybe the video wasn't being transmitted very well. And there were some clever suggestions on how to handle it, which I'm not sure I can do because I haven't tried that yet. But suffice it to say, I just closed down that clip and there was only like a few seconds left that I wanted to show you. So there's nothing that you missed there. But the main point is that Psychic Liz Cross was not able, in this case, to help me negotiate soul to soul with the person I had the contract with. But the important part was that she said something like, I could, if she didn't say it in this video, she's going to say it in the next one, which I might just have to summarize. That, you know, if I did the CTT and I did it for, you know, I guess a couple of times a day for like several months, you know, that's a way that I could communicate that message to that other soul and continue negotiating. So I'm wondering, you know, I'm going to check out the chat again real quick. I wonder, because I had like a couple of windows open. I've closed one window now. I'd like to give it another try. And, you know, it sounds like people are interested. And also, the one I want to show you is not a public video. It's a private video. So I've only got 2 selections from the private video that I wanted to share. And I got my fingers crossed that maybe we'll be successful because I'll have less windows open. And so here's where the warning comes in. There's a part of the story involves an adult female not treating other people appropriately. And we're talking about other people of all ages. And from my point of view, in more than one dimension. So I just wanted you to be forewarned. You know, it's disturbing content. It could be coming up here. Again, this is not a public video. These are excerpts from a private video that I haven't released. So yeah, all right. I see a message from Art Life. Yeah, Ray, do it again. That's right, Art Life. Here we go. Rock on. Let's keep it going. All right. So let me check my notes here. So this part is about charging the karma system, and this goes for about 2 minutes. And then after that, we'll check one more screen for a little bit longer clip. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for showing an interest. All right, let's see what's going on. I want to go back now because I want to paint a picture here to Source about what's going on. Let me ask another question to Source, please. Hey, Source, what role did I play in this union teacher's life? What role was I supposed to play?
What role was Ray supposed to play in this teacher's life? Well, spiritually and on Source, locked in and keeps you feeding the system, right? I know, Ray, I know. It's not fair. this system is not designed for us as beings to, I mean, certainly in our conscious minds, to succeed. It's to keep generating the energy into the universal consciousness.
So she was placed there to sabotage me.
Basically, I mean, but also it's this, well, in the next lifetime, I'm going to get you back. But I just don't feel that's the type of person you are.
Okay. So again, the whole point of us in this lifetime was so that, all right. All right. And now let's go on to the next clip. Yeah, I think I can do this. From the unreleased, moving on. I'm trying to share screen. Okay, here you go, everybody. But regarding to provoke, the one that had the autism or whatever. So you told me that this teacher had actually been touching students inappropriately already.
Yeah.
And that some of them are going to be coming out and, you know, reporting it soon, I suppose. My question is that student who got involved with me, the one that she manipulated, is that one of the children that she touched inappropriately?
I mean, she's the one that's touching the girls.
It's called projection. You know, she knows what she's doing is not appropriate, but if she just pretends it's someone else, it's not her guilt to deal with. Maybe. I don't know.
And it takes any I'm getting. God,
sure.
That's so awful.
Yeah. So, I mean, now Psychic Liz Cross, again, I don't want to interact with this person, but we just uncovered something else, right? The little girl that was involved, we knew she was bullied into it. And now we also know that that teacher was not behaving appropriately with her. Does the little girl's parents know, or will they know about it?
No, she touches girls' breasts.
Oh, God. All right. But again, do the parents know, or will they know?
No, not until way out into the future, but it will be like, well, did she really touch your breast, or was it an accident, or will she ever get caught? I mean, there'll be a time when they question what she was doing. But again, it'll be, oh, I never, because she tries to pretend she's holier than thou for whatever reason.
So but that's not who she, I had all that I wanted to share. Let me stop sharing the screen. Well, I guess to sum up, who are we to judge? Everything becomes so much clearer when we're in the spirit world. We see all kinds of things we can't see right now. And that's part of the fun. That's why video games and virtual reality are so addicting, right? You get to immerse yourselves in a new world. In another way, you know, if you didn't have that there, things would be kind of boring, I suppose. So anyway, thanks for letting me share all that about the law of karma regarding responsibility. And now I would ordinarily start out inviting the tarot world to, well, why don't we do that? Let's invite the tarot world. Let's hear what the tarot world has to say about the law of responsibility. Wow, that was a long lead up to the second part of the show. Right on, StarCard Podcast Warriors. Here we go. We're going to invite the tarot world to close our conversation about the law of karma regarding responsibility. We are all responsible for our actions. Here we go. How about a fun, inspirational message filled with gratitude for Thanksgiving week about the law of responsibility. Everybody pitch in. That's how the team wins. Okay. Ole. First up, the Six of Wands. Public recognition. Yeah. Everyone has to face the music. We are all responsible for our actions. Six of Wands. Public recognition. Next up, Seven of Pentacles. That's when you're nurturing something. You're getting something to grow. Maybe you're growing good karma. Well, let's look at the image. That looks like some good growing to me. Big, beautiful flowers, healthy lily pads that look like giant pancakes. Oh, and here comes the devil card, rather. Here comes the devil card and says, let go let go what's not serving you anymore, and let's address your shadow self. Well, that is about responsibility. You know, you're going to face the music. Everyone is responsible for their actions. And you may think that, well, okay, this is the process of doing it. It's going to take a long time for you to balance things out and let things go from the karma that you accrued. But then, ole, you have the Eight of Pentacles and you'll be able to cash in at the end. Everything balances out. See, the tarot world does it better than me. That's for sure. I should have been a tarot deck. Thank you, tarot world. And now we're ready to find out who wants a reading in our audience. Let me get a piece of paper and write down some names. Thanks, everybody, for joining me today, yesterday and today. I'm scrolling around now. Let's see who wants a reading. Puck Elf was here much earlier. Let's see if he wanted a reading. That's a pretty good one, Puck Elf. So, Julia, mermaid deck? Puck Elf, I'm going to write you down. You hit the top fans button. Hi, Jason. Nice turkey, Jason. Good. I will check the email, Julia. Okay, and Judy, one card. This is NW5. Okay, so hi, Heavenly Cups. I'm checking your list. Just like Santa, I'm going to check it twice. Anchor Haven, good. I know you wrote, what's midnight? Do I have a midnight tarot? Oh, do you mean the Lost Soul tarot? I'll check. Hang on. That's a cool idea. Right, and Heavenly Cups wants the Robin Wood deck. All right, I'm going to go get the Lost Soul tarot for Julia. I think this is the one she's talking about. Yeah, Julia, did you mean the Lost Soul tarot? This deck is so spooky, but I love the star card in this deck. This guy, I mean, well, let's get some better light over here. All right. So I think I'm going to pull these ones out here for Julia. They got that nice gold side, gold edge. That is pretty cool. Fun. Let's see. Let me close this other window down. 1 second, everybody. Okay. So it looks like Heavenly Cups is making note that Victoria and Missing Time 420, you're undecided. I don't know. Maybe you want a reading. I'll just pick a deck. I'll check that again in a moment. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, all right. First on my list is Puck Elf. I'm gonna throw. I'm debating between 3 cards and 1 card. Sometimes Puck Elf just needs the 1 card, but I'm going to throw him 3 just in case. Here we go, Puck Elf. Thanks for tuning in so early, Puck Elf. I just want to say, Puck Elf, from where I'm sitting, we just spent 2 days together. Because I started before midnight. That's pretty cool. It's like spending the weekend at Puck's place. All right, but anyway, how about 3 cards for Puck Elf, please? All right. 3 cards for Puck Elf. Here we go, Puck Elf. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. It's a wonderful life. Whoa. I got the 10 of Swords, but I got it upside down, Puck Elf. So the 10 of Swords says it's the end of a painful episode, but I got the reverse 10 of Swords. Only way to go is up. Recovery, regeneration, resisting, and inevitable end. Let's leave it upside down for you. Recovery, rejuvenation, a brand new life. Wow. I hope that this 3 of Swords is for someone else in your life. Maybe that someone else is like agonizing that you're enjoying yourself and you're getting past old wounds and letting things go. Let them squirm in their own agony. And then let's turn the 3 of Swords upside down for Puck Elf. Reverse 3 of Swords. Forgiveness, optimism, recovery, and moving on, like the title of that video I just showed. All right, Puck Elf, thanks for tuning in again. Have a good one. All right, so thank you, Missing Time. Sorry, thank you, Heavenly Cups and Jason. I see that Jason wants a reading. I love it. I missed his message. I missed Jason's message. That's right. So that's why I'm glad I got a lot of friends in the audience. Okay, so I'm putting these aside. I'm gonna add Jason to my list. Okay, now I'm on to Julia. You wanted, you're getting the Lost Soul deck. There we go. Wow, these cards are heavy. Oh, but they're very flexible. All right, Tarot World. How about a fun, helpful message from this elegant tarot deck for our friend tuning in way out in the UK? Thank you very much, Julia. You're a great fan. Thanks to all the subscribers. I'm pretty sure I'm getting a lot of subscribers from Julia's channel. All right, we had a good time talking to John Whitberg. You can check out my John Whitberg Speaks playlist here at StarCard Podcast, and these cards are for Julia. Wow, these things are like rainbow shining. First up, it's the Page of Cups. I wonder if we can get you some better light here. It's the Page of Cups. It's the happy surprise guy. Look at how happy that guy is. Woohoo, rock on. Man, these guys are tailgating in the parking lot. Okay, next up. Wow, that is a cool card. It's the moon. The moon talks about the subconscious. But, I'd love to have a black light poster of that in my bedroom when I was a teenager. The moon. There's a happy surprise coming from your unconscious. You have a new altar. Stop teasing, Breakaway Ray. All right, next. It's the Seven of Swords. Really? Something's going to be revealed. I don't know. Maybe you do have a new altar coming out. Congratulations. You should feel like Zeus when he was giving birth to his daughter Athena. You're just ripping a new person out of your skull like a Greek god. Right on, Julia. And then, you got to be strong to do that. Check out the Strength card. So, that is like incredible with the lion, very three-dimensional. All right. Be strong. It would only be revealed to you because you are strong and you're ready for it. You're watching StarCard Podcast. Thanks a lot, Julia. That's hope and rejuvenation. Cool. Wow. Thank you, Tarot World. Thanks for making me look good in front of my friend Julia. All right, let's see who's next on the list. Yeah, you're welcome, Julia. Thank you. Judy wants one card. Well, good. I don't think you asked for a particular deck. Anyway, so Judy, I'm going to throw you one of the Ethereal Bloom cards. You want one card. All right, Tarot World. Some of these people waited around a whole hour for a reading, Tarot World, so I know you can't wait to give them a good, helpful, inspirational message. We just need one card for our friend Judy. Again, out in the UK, I think. Here we go. Hey, UK, okay. Look at you also got the Strength card today. Strength. And it's the power. It's not just power and, control and influence, but also the ability to communicate with creatures that are not the same as us. Because everything has consciousness. Everything has consciousness. Right on, Judy. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. Yeah. London, NW5. I forget which tube station's around there. I should check my map. Next up, it's Heavenly Cups. The Robin Wood deck. I think we're... there you go, UK. Have a good time at the pub with the 9 of Cups guy. Right, Heavenly Cups. Mr. A gets a reading, that's for sure. We're going to write it down. All right, but these are for Heavenly Cups. All right, Tarot World, keep it going. How about a fun, helpful message for Heavenly Cups, please? Another fan of Psychic Bliss Cross. A fun, helpful message for Heavenly Cups, please. These cards are for Heavenly Cups. All right, cool. Let's see what happens for Heavenly Cups. Hey, it's the Ace of Wands. There's magic in the air. Whoa, there's not only magic in the air, but the 8 of Wands says it's happening really soon. It also means flight and travel, or so I don't know, maybe you want a trip on the radio, a call-in show, I don't know. Then the Emperor says someone's in control. Wow. You're going to feel large and in charge when you're taking this magical trip. Oh, and everything's going to be all right. It's the Sun card. Are we excited about a trip we're going to take? We got it all planned out. It's going to be so much fun. 50-50. Come on, Tarot World. What kind of fireworks you hiding here? Oh, it's the Five of Cups. Well, you know, every vacation has a so no sense crying over spilled milk. They say here in the United States, something's going to happen. It's never going to be perfect. But look, if it was a great trip, you're by the sea. You walked away with two cups that are still standing. Those are nice souvenirs, and you'll always have those memories of the ocean and the places you visited behind you. But yeah, while we're down here, uh, there's going to be a mess. That's why you have custodians who come in and clean up at the end of the day. There's just by living, sometimes stuff happens. Well, anyway, Heavenly Cups, thanks for inviting me to read. I hope that was a good one for you too. Okay, next it's Jason. This is for Jason. Oh yeah, I'm putting these cards down because dealer's choice, I'm picking these. Here we go, Jason. I don't know, Jason, do you smell cinnamon? These cards are for Jason. A fun, helpful message for Jason, please. Oh, okay. These cards are for Jason. Wow. Wow. What is going on? This card fell on the floor. One more for Jason, please. Whoa. All right. Let's see what happens here. So we start with the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is when you've got the long-term view and you're really doing a good job. You're growing a beautiful garden. But by the way, this is the card that fell on the floor, I think. And this was the one that popped out, the Two of Pentacles, which talks about balance and having multiple priorities. So anyway, that might be the theme here. You got some things going on. In the first place, you got the long-term view. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles where, you're actually going to cash in on this. That's working. That's working, whatever that is. You got a good thing going on over there. And then, wow, the Queen of Cups. I'm going to go to the guidebook for this. There's lots to like about the Queen of Cups lady. She's like the favorite kindergarten teacher. But let's read what it says in the book. You're talking about pentacles. You're talking about the currency of your desire. That's one way to look at it. Another way is just to look at it like coins and money and cash. So like in the 3D world, you're doing a good job with money management and you're balancing it well with real connections with others. Let's go to the Queen of Cups and look in the book. Queen of Cups. The queen stares deeply at a closed cup adorned with handles shaped like angels. Her throne is embellished with sea creatures. While she is surrounded by water, her feet do not touch it. The universe is sending compassionate, nurturing energy, using you or someone in your life as its vehicle. Support others and trust in your heart. And again, the Two of Pentacles shows me there's real balance between your mind, where your brain is, and your heart, where your other brain is. So to conclude, the tarot world reminds you, we're talking about balance again. Look at how they're lined up. There's temperance and balance. Keep cool, stay mellow, aim for the middle. You're doing a good job of multitasking according to this reading. Thanks a lot, Jason. That was a fun reading for me. I really appreciate you tuning in, Jason. Okay. Thanks, Jason, for letting me know about the cookies. I was eating some pumpkin pie earlier. Anyway, it's great talking dessert with you. Next up, we had Jason, but then Mr. A wanted a reading. I'm going to go back to this deck. And I got a good guidebook, so we're good. All right, so Mr. A. Here we go. I think Mr. A, yeah, you're welcome, Jason. Cool deal. I think Mr. A may be the last out there. You still have time if somebody wants to drop in a request. But then I got good news, everybody, because it is now the following day, the day following when I started this podcast. I started before midnight. It's already November 25th. When I'm done here, my plan is to do another day in the 12 days of karma, the 12 days of 12 law. I don't know. I sound like I'm tired. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is stand by, because this might be like a sleepover party at StarCard Podcast. I think I might just turn off the camera and turn it back on again. All right. Anyway, these cards are for Mr. A. Mr. A, thanks for tuning in. It's great that you could be here too. I appreciate all the supporters and all you. I don't know if you're insomniacs like me, but these cards are for Mr. A, a longtime supporter. Really appreciate it. Here we go, Mr. A. One more for you. All right, Tarot World. This is the last second shot before halftime, Tarot World. Here we go. First up, the Page of Swords. What a beautiful card. Even though the kid has a sword, I like it because it looks like a kid coming downstairs for the holidays on Christmas morning. Look at those jammies. But let's read about the Page of Swords. Here we go. The Page of Swords. This card represents thriving on new, exciting ideas. Staying curious and alert are integral to this. Swords suggest that ideas will flow in the form of verbal messages and communication. And I'd like to read to you about the relationships connotation of the Page of Swords. It says, stay vigilant about anxious and overeager people. Also, consider if you're overdoing it, quote unquote, in the eyes of others. There's another message here about a career, Mr. A. It says, talk to a mentor so that you can learn the new career tricks to sharpen your mind for anything that might come your way. So there you are, some ideas about the Page of Swords. Quick-witted, alert, and curiosity. Then, the Death card talks about endings and beginnings and transformation. This, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely card, even though it's got a skeleton in it. And it's got both parts, doesn't it? It's a real yin and yang, this one. Okay. And then the Six of Cups talks about happy memories. This is like a hard card not to look at. I mean, how many of us have like done the same thing, sat in a meadow and looked at flowers? What a wonderful sensation if that's the only thing on your mind. But again, the Six of Cups talks about nostalgia and happy memories. So new ideas are going to transform happy memories. Yeah, as we mature, we look at things differently. And then the Ace of Wands shows up and says, there's magic in the air. I'm going to go to the book for the Ace of Wands. And there you go. How about those beautiful flowers? Looks like it's snowing. And there's fire on that flower, that Ace of Wands. Again, the Ace of Wands in the book. Ace of Wands. Inspiration, passion, new project. A hand appears out of the clouds and presents a single wand, which has leaves sprouting from the tips and sides. Below is a fertile landscape with mountains, a river, and a castle. This card is a push to start the passion project you've been considering. Take action and manifest your goals. And finally, the Ten of Pentacles shows up. The currency of your desire. All right, the Ten of Pentacles, while I got the book open. The Ten of Pentacles, long-term success, legacy, and family. The older patriarch of a large estate sits with two loyal dogs at his feet. His children stand below an archway while his grandchild pets one of the dogs. After building financial wealth, you are now able to create a legacy or share it with your family. It could be the family you were born into or you've created. The relationship is built for the long term, and this may involve planning for the future or considering children. Your family may also have a strong influence on who you choose as a partner. And the career note says your career path offers long-term stability. It could be with a family business or an established company. Thank you very much for inviting me to read again, Mr. A. I'm going to give these a toss. Yeah, cool deal, Mr. A. I appreciate everyone's feedback. A little confirmation helps me build muscle memory as I learn tarot. So I think, well, it was 1:17:17 when I looked at the clock just now. I mean, 1:17:17 in my recording. A little bit of a long show, and I might do a double header. So I'll post first, so you can walk away from your computer, but you can hit the notifications button if I post, and you'll know that I'm going to go again. I was thinking about whether I should change my tie. That's like, I know I want to go have a coffee. I don't know what I'm going to do, but sure appreciate. Oh, wait, did I miss? Hey, Art Life, you wanted a reading? Good job, Heavenly Cups. Okay, I'm sorry I missed you, Art Life. Let's go back downstairs, and then we'll close up shop. Here we go, Art Life. That's right. I got tarot for everybody. You kidding? Stay as long as you want. Here we go. Art Life. Yeah, you people are so nice to me. You don't want to leave my party? Great. Yeah, let's keep going. Whoa. Hey, Art Life. I think that card wanted to come out. We'll put that guy up there. There we go. These cards for Art Life. Thank you, Art Life. All right, finally got the light that I like. Now I know what to do. Okay, here we go. First up, the 9 of Cups. This is the wish come true card. This is the, organize your celebration card. You might as well, because your wish is coming true. I wonder what that wish is. I hope these cards tell us. Well, the 8 of Pentacles. You made a good investment of your energy or your time or your attention somehow. The 2 of Cups indicates that you had good teamwork and communication with somebody else, or maybe even with the spirit world. So this could even be spiritual currency, as we've discussed at length today here and yesterday at StarCard Podcast. Talk about karma there. The 10 of Swords. Wow. I like this 10 of Swords because it doesn't show like some dude on the ground all bleeding. This is just elegant. Anyway, the 10 of Swords. Wow, up in the mountains. Yeah, everybody knows I like that. The 10 of Swords talks about the end of a painful episode. And then finally, at the end of a painful episode, you feel like Père Noel. Here's the King of Pentacles. So you can enjoy the fruits of your labor now because you and a partner have invested your time and attention and your teamwork wisely, and you made it past a painful episode. I don't know, maybe raising a teenager. I'm making a joke. I shouldn't do that. I'm not a parent. Teasing parents. Come on, Breakaway Ray. But check it out now. Are you an empty nester? Because you're the King of Pentacles now. You get to sit in the big chair. No kid's going to, you don't have to get some kid out of your seat, and you get to hold the remote control. So that's what you get when some dude from the United States throws tarot cards. I hope you enjoyed the reading, Mr. A. Thank you very much. Let me give these a toss, and we're going to sign off. Whoa. I want you to know the deck exploded on me again. Okay. Good. Very good, Art Life. Thank you, Art Life. Was I right about the teenager? That's funny stuff. So I'm going to sign off right now. And I think I probably just need it. The turnaround's going to be less than an hour. And I think we're going to go do a doubleheader, everybody. If you're still around, you're still awake, rock on. I know it's the middle of the week. Some people are on vacation, though. Okay. All right. Rock on, everybody. See you next time.